You all are aware that GTO series consists of 8-9 tasks, out of which some are indoor or some are outdoor. In the outdoor task, one of the tasks is known as a lecturette. This is a very important task. You must endeavor to do well in this task. Okay? Right. Now, as far as lecture is concerned, in this, each candidate will be given one card, and the card consists of 4 topics. You will have a liberty to pick up one topic out of those. Once you made a choice, thereafter you will get 3 minutes to prepare yourself for delivering a talk to the topic that you have chosen to rest of the group members. For duration of the talk will be for 3 minutes. Okay? Right. Now, this will be done in such a manner when first speaker is speaking over here, the next person who is in line will be preparing for his talk outside. Okay? And I will listen to the first speaker, and to keep them informed of their timings, I will be sitting at the back and I am going to tap the pen once on the desk to indicate to you that 2.5 minutes are over, which will indicate to you that 30 seconds are left to close your issue or close your talk. After 3 minutes, I am going to tap twice, which will indicate to the speaker that his time is over. So he will get down and settle down. It will also indicate to the person who is preparing outside that his time has started. So he will come, hand over the card to me at the back, and then stand in front of the group and deliver the short talk on the topic that he picked up to rest of the group members. Right? And we will carry on like this till such time we hear everybody who is going to be speaking to us. Any question, clarification at this task? All clear? Simple task?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. We all know the sequence of the speakers. So chest number 155, you can please go outside, get yourself organized, and come back inside and then give a talk, the topic you are going to give, right? Okay. You are clear about the sequence? I need not to repeat it?
Yes, sir.
So we will listen to 155 followed by 130. Thereafter we will have Pranav. What is your chest number?
133.
So then we will have 133. Then we will have Mrinal. What is your chest number?
137.
Where are you? 137.
137.
And then 168?
Yes, sir.
Right. And then you will have 169 in the last. And the last speaker will be 138. Okay?
Very warm good afternoon to respected sir and my dear friends. Today my lecturate topic is 5G. As we are gradually moving towards the advancements in science and technology in almost every field, India is doing better. We are advancing towards a new mobile network, that is a 5G. 5G is the 5th generation mobile network, and it is the most advanced cellular network that will give faster and more reliable communications with a high speeds and with ultra low latency. First of all, I would like to tell you about that what is latency. Latency is the amount of time that is lapsed between the transferring of information from the source towards the destination. So to reduce this, we have introduced the 5G system. According to a government report, it points out that the network peak speed would be 2 to 20 gigabits per second, which is in comparison to 4G is very much higher, as 4G provides 2 to 10 only megabits per second in India and 25 megabits per second in other countries, in other developed countries like South Korea and US. We are also expecting a cumulative economic impact because of the 5G network of about $1 trillion by 2035, according to a government panel report. According to a telecom gear maker Ericsson report, we have seen that it would provide an economic impact of more than $27 billion by 2026. So 5G, what is 5G? 5G is basically empowering our nation towards advancement in many fields, like in the communication sector, agriculture sector, health sector and education sector and many more. 5G is the backbone of these empowered technologies to enhance our future. Like in healthcare, it would provide the use of smart devices and obviously the use of high resolution images that would help to treat many diseases before time and will save many lives. Enhancing the online education, we have seen that during the COVID-19 pandemic, online education has played a major role in shaping our youth's future. So to advance this, we will introduce 5G in our education sector also. Moreover, it would provide the business industry so that it would develop more powerfully. Moving to some more benefits, we can see that the driverless vehicles are more popular, like Tesla has made a driverless vehicles, so it would be beneficial for that industry also, and also it would be benefiting for the telesurgery also and smart data analytics. Moving because it is a new system and obviously India is a developing nation, so we have major challenges towards it, like we have a frequency allocation problem, that is the India having a very less spectrum and which has a very high investment cost. So the operators are not ready as they are unsure for the return on their investments. Secondly, they have recently invested a large amount in the 4G networks, which is making it impossible for them to indulge in the 5G networks. But recently we have seen that the auction has taken place and the Reliance Jio has backed up with a major portion of the bands. So it would be playing a major role in providing 5G connections. Also, the government is reviving the BSNL so that it would provide the connectivity to the remote places in India and would connect the whole nation in one string. Next, what is the way forward then? Way forward is that we should make the 5G connections compatible with the Digital India program. Also, we have to allocate funds and incentivize the local technology and telecoms operators so that they would also increase their internal capabilities and help in the successful management of the 5G technology in India. Moreover, we have to government has to help developing 5G startups which would help in the design and manufacturing capabilities. Moreover, we have to manufacture 5G chipsets which would enhance the successful transmission of the 5G communications. And at the last, I would like to say that I would like to inform you about one thing, that the World Economic Forum has said in his report that about 9.1 billion subscribers of 5G connections would be there by the latest 2030, and 5G will prove as a catalyst for India, which would help India in the digitalization also and in various services. It would provide faster delivery services and faster access to the services and deeper penetration of the digital services. It would also empower the country in performing better results, and it would prove a better boon to the society. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, friends. I am going to talk about a very important topic today, that is India's relations with its neighbors. Firstly, I covered all the countries and its relations, and at the last I will be covering the way ahead to improve those relations. At first, let's talk about the Pakistan relations. After the independence of both the countries in 1947, both the countries involved in majorly in three wars: 1965 war, 1971 war, and 1919 war. Even after those wars, all the wars won by India, and India saw a number of intrusions and number of terrorist attacks from the side of Pakistan. Even we can say about the Uri attack and at the recently 2019 Pulwama attack also, that those attacks even badly affected the trade relations, and India also levied 200% import duties on the Pakistan goods, and even Pakistan also did the same. As the history shows, in 1965 war, when the war happened, those trade relations were banned for 9 years, and it was they were revived in 1974. So, and if we talk about the trade relations, India always had a trade surplus with Pakistan. India export cotton yarn, and mainly sugar, and even Pakistan export India some fertilizers, some basic fertilizers, and the precious stones. As second, if we talk about Bangladesh relations, after the liberation war in 1971, in which India involved in the war and helped to make a new nation that was earlier called East Pakistan. After that liberation war, both the countries were suffering similar kind of problems like corruption, climate change, terrorism, and various intrusions. Even after in recent 10 years, Ms. Sheikh Hasina was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, and in their time, Bangladesh saw a rapid growth in their manufacturing hub, and now Bangladesh is considered as the world manufacture hub after China. If we talk about the trade relation with Bangladesh, there is overall trade of $18 billion, in which $9 billion is formal trade and $9 billion, other $9 billion is the informal trade. Even India also helped Bangladesh to develop its defense infrastructure and modernization. One example is that government of India had took the initiative to make a railway line and a road line also from Akhura to Agartala, and also Bangladesh provides the best cyber connectivity to the northeastern states like Assam. If we talk about Nepal, India had a very good relation with Nepal in the terms of culture, religion and tourism, and the total population about 80 population of the Nepal is Buddhism and following Buddhism, and 20% is Hinduism, as the birthplace of Lord Buddha is situated in India in Lumbini. That provides a very much connectivity in tourism at both the countries, and the basic sector in Nepal is the tourism, and India supports that at the best position. If we talk about other connectivities, there is a railway line that is from Raxaul to Kathmandu for the benefit of both the countries in terms of trade. There is also our family ties with Nepal, that is called Roti Beti Ka Rishta, and if we talk about the military ties, we actually conduct a military exercise that is called Suryakiran with Nepal. At fourth, if we talk about China, China is a huge power, and its basic power is its investment and the large economy. Even China use about 10 to 11 billion dollar for just its marketing of the defense infrastructure in the whole world. If we talk about the BRI initiative, that is Belt and Road Initiative of China, China tends to supply $1 trillion of worth of that project, and it consists of number of around 2,900 project in that. In CPEC only, it levied around $60 billion. That's such a high amount of money. For India, China is continuously making problem. We recently seen the border dispute with China in the Pangong Lake and Galwan Valley. If we talk about the trade relations with China, we had a huge trade deficit with China. If the total trade is about $120 billion, and India exports about the worth of $21 billion approx, and China export to India of around $94 billion. So we can see the huge trade deficit in that, and that is a major power of China. China holds the monopoly in India in terms of electronic devices like mobile. If we talk about the different companies like Oppo, Vivo and OnePlus, Xiaomi, they control over the 60 to 70% of the whole mobile market in India. That's a major. Even India is also taking steps to make India best in terms of modernization and indigenization. We have actually in 2021 November, our Honorable Prime Minister have banned 108 items that we actually imported to our country for as the basic raw materials, and we aimed to build it in India only, and for that India set up Bharat Dynamics Limited in 2021. That is currently now is the highest PSU in India for the making of defense infrastructure. If we talk about at last conclusion that what is the way ahead to solve the number of disputes between the countries. With Pakistan, the major problem is the Kashmir issue and the terrorism. I think both the countries have same culture, same fooding habits, because as Pakistan was the part of India, and people are also very connected via Bollywood, and major number of actors in Pakistan and India are well connected, and they make different kinds of movies and film together, and people are very much connected. I think there would be a peace treaty between India and Pakistan finally, that was actually pending from number of years, and by just choosing that without any kind of violence, we can handle that issue. For the Kashmir issue also, if we talk about Bangladesh, there are a number of three problems are there, that is illegal migration, Tista River water dispute, and at third, the concern that Bangladesh show for the trade deficit. So basically there is not the major issue in that, but the another issue is that China's involvement in Bangladesh. So India should actually improve relations with Bangladesh, because Bangladesh plays a very strategic role for India against China. If we talk about Nepal, there was some small major border dispute with Nepal, but we are actually countering that or solving that with our best experience and with best friendly talks. At last, if with China is continuously using its debt trap policy and the expanding policy in the whole world. For China, we can develop our indigenization process at the best point, and our modernization of the army, as we have increased our 70.6 our defense budget to $70.6 billion. That's a major a step of India towards its act against China.
Good morning, friends. Today I like to speak on the topic cyber security. Cyber security means the protection of the internet connected systems and the protection of the data of the various government agencies like NIA, CBI, private institutions and private companies, public data from the unauthorized access by the enemy nations like China and the Pakistan or the any other nations. So what is the need of the cyber security? We need that. We know that in the present scenario, in the 21st century, data is the only important currency for any nation. If this data any enemy nation can get, then it can strategize, it can know about our economic and the military planning, and it can counter ourselves using this data. As tomorrow we have seen that after the Nancy Pelosi visit in Taiwan, there were several cyber attacks on in the sites containing the important data regarding the presidential information and the other administrative services. So in case if the China gets that data, so if the China enters into a war with Taiwan, it can use that data in fighting the war with the Taiwan, and it may give a better edge to China to win the war. The second need is that as we in the recent Udaipur killings, we have seen that several persons killed the tailor. So if we have a better cyber security, so we can control the type of content coming from the enemy nations, so that our men do not get motivated by that type of information. And in 2020, the China-backed group Red Eco, using the malware ShadowPad, had attacked our power grid structures. If China gets successful in attacking power grid structures, there would be the disruption in the electric supply, which would result the hampering of the growth of the manufacturing sector, which directly or indirectly affects the economic growth of our nation. The third so this is the need of the cyber security. There are the many cases, as in our banking sector. If the nations attack our banking sector, then whole the economic growth of the nation gets hampered. So there is a need to counter that. So the main problems in the cyber security is that the digital illiteracy among the Indians. Many of people don't know how to use the various applications, what type of information we should enter and what type of information we should not resist. Many persons, sometimes it happens that several messages comes on WhatsApp regarding that you have win this much amount of money and give our basic details, and they give, and unfortunately they lose money, and that money can be sent to the foreign nations via money laundering, and it can be used for the terrorist activity purposes. So at last I would like to change that. I would like to conclude that there is a need for a strong and bold steps taken for the cyber security, and this can be done only by removing the illiteracy among the Indian citizens and making the children aware about what are the pros and the cons of the cyber security, and also instilling the interest in the computer science among the children, so that from the 6th onwards, if they get interested into these types of field, they can have a better future in these fields, and the government can use their knowledge in protecting our nations. Thank you.
Friends, my lecture topic is electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are very easy to understand. They are just like petrol vehicles, but just using an electronic battery, a lithium ion battery instead of an engine, and electricity instead of fossil fuel. That lithium ion battery is very same that we use, is very same of kind that we use in our smartphones and laptops. The benefit of using lithium ion battery is that it charges fast and have a long durability, and also it has a low self discharge. So the basic principle on which electronic vehicles work is magnetism. By changing the polarity of, by constantly changing the polarity of magnet, we can rotate the wheel of the electric vehicle. So this is done by an inverter module which takes electricity from the battery, the direct current, and by this system of quick circuits and capacitors, it is able to achieve 60 it able to change the polarity 60 times a second. So that's how an electric vehicle runs. So this industry is quite in a boosting time. So but India has not installed any much manufacturing units. So the cost of the electric vehicles, especially the cars, is quite high. So to boost the manufacturing of electric vehicles and to attract foreign direct investment, India is giving many incentives to the industries that are seeking to manufacture them. So some of the incentives are the PLI, production link incentive for manufacturing ACC, advanced chemistry cell, for rupees 18,000 crore, and one PLI for manufacture of automotive parts for rupees 26,000 crore, and one was, I'm forgetting the name, but it was related to boost the faster adoption and manufacture of electronic vehicles for rupees 10,000 crore. So it will give us cost benefits of around, we'll get a cost benefit of we import oil, so so it will cost us 2 lakh crore less, because we'll buy less oil by using the electric vehicles. And our transport minister Nitin Gadkari has said that in approximately 2 years, the cost of electric vehicles will be the same of the petrol vehicles. This will be done by installing many charging stations in major highways and boosting the manufacturing in India itself, because it will reduce all the import duties that get applied if the cars are imported from the other countries. So some of the advantages of the electric vehicles are that it has a low maintenance cost, since it does not have many running parts or engine, so it does not require a regular servicing, and it has a low running cost. Normally the petrol cars run at rupees 7 to rupees 10 per kilometer, but electric vehicles run on rupees 1 per kilometer, and they are silent, they produce no noise because there is no engine, and they are very easy to drive because there are no gears, and the government also gives us these benefits, like registration fees of the car is exempted, road taxes one-time pay is exempted. And but some of the disadvantages of the electric vehicles are like the initial costs are high. In the current time, they are high and they are not affordable by the middle class people in our country. And the battery cost is also very high. Like the lithium-ion battery gets it has a decay period of around 7 to 8 years. So after the 7 to 8 years, it has to be changed, and the cost of battery alone is approximately 3/4 the cost of the whole vehicle. So that's too much. And when we hear of this, we think that it is a very clean source of energy, but it is not as it looks like. Like if we run the cars, of course the carbon emission is zero, but if we look at the manufacturing of this, the batteries that we manufacture, so they require rare elements that require mining to get. We have to mine them to get them. So that causes very much greenhouse gas emission, that the element gets refining, that even adds to it. And the most important element and the most costly mineral of the this battery is cobalt, which has 70% production in Congo. It's violation there. Many small children work there. So it's a development, but still we have problems with it, and it will take time to get through all problems.
Good morning, good afternoon, respected sir and my fellow members. Today I am here to deliver a speech or a lecture on Agnipath scheme. I'll be introducing the scheme, then we'll be telling the criteria, selection criteria of the scheme, and then the pay and benefits of the scheme, and then conclusion. To introduce the scheme, scheme is introduced by Government of India on June 2022. According to the scheme, there is a change in selection criteria of soldiers in army, airmen in air force, and seamen in navy. And the change in selection criteria is initially these particular soldiers, airmen, and seamen will be enrolled for the year of the tenure of 4 years, and this tenure, under this tenure they will be getting some benefits and will be trained the disciplined life of the defense forces. Now the eligibility criteria for this scheme is that any candidate who is of 17 and a half age and does not exceed 21 years of his age can apply for this scheme and get benefited with this scheme. Then they will be trained for a few years or months. For example, they will be trained for 6 months as a basic training, and then for 1 year or so for their trade training. Then after they will be posted to different units where they will be giving their service. What pay and benefits they get now? For the first year, they will be getting 30,000 rupees as a salary, out of which 21,000 will be in their hand and 9,000 will be submitted as Seva Nidhi scheme. And this 9,000, this sum will also be added by the government. That is the equal amount which is being submitted by the particular candidate will be added by the government too. After 4 years, this complete sum becomes to be 5.2 lakhs, and by the candidate, and the government will add 5.2 lakh in that. This makes 10.4 lakh total, and government will give this sum after they are leaving the service. And to conclude, this scheme is a great opportunity for the persons who love to serve their country by joining defense forces, and who love to live a disciplined and defense life. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. The topic of my lecturate is Sri Lankan economic crisis. As we all know, Sri Lanka is facing a serious balance of payment problem in its economy. Its foreign reserve ratios are decreasing rapidly, and it is becoming difficult for Sri Lanka to even buy essential commodities for the nation. The main causes of the Sri Lankan economic crisis is IMF loan conditionalities, the bad decision of the governments which led to this situation, and also the historical imbalances in the economy. So, as we know that Sri Lanka has emerged from a 26-year-long civil war. The post-war GDP was 8 to 9% in Sri Lanka in 2012, but it almost get halved in in 2013 due to global financial crisis, and Sri Lanka has arrived to IMF to take a loan of $2.6 billion, which led to situation worse. And also Sri Lanka again approached to IMF in 2016 and took a loan of $1.4 billion, whose conditionalities made the situation worse. And the recent economic problems like the Easter bomb attack, which caused 250 casualties and make the situation worse, and the tourism arrival also decreased and revenues also fell. And also the newly led government banned the fertilizer import of fertilizers overnight and made the tried to make the country 100% organic farming nation, and affected the food prices. So the way forward for the nation is to take immediate decisions as soon as the shortage of commodities end, which is expected in the start of April, the Millennium New Year. And also both the nation have to focus on illegal refugees and prevent illegal smuggling in the area. India has reported 16 illegal refugees in the area, and also it is a better opportunity for India to to come up with a solution for Palk Strait fisheries dispute. Thank you.
Now let's go one by one about the speakers. Now I'll just start with the first speaker of the day. Please get up, 155. Okay, right. So you handled the topic quite well, spoke quite confidently. But I wish that you could also talk about, before.